Hello and welcome. I can't even speak. Hello and welcome to the Analog Toys Haunted Halloween Hangout. I invited a few friends for tonight, and just thought we'd have a casual hangout since it's Halloween and have a chat with everyone who's in the live chat. So, joining me today, I first of all have my good buddy Scuba Pete. Scuba, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good. You thought I was going to bring Michael in first, didn't you?
I did. I was like, let me just scoot that out of the, hey, we're live. Hi, everybody. Didn't see you come in there.
And very recently joined, we have Jeff Barker. Jeff, how are you?
Hey, I know that guy.
I say, Pete, you know this shirt?
I love that shirt.
Given to me at Joe Fest.
Awesome.
Good times.
Yep.
And of course, as the title of the live stream says, we have a very special guest. It's my friend Michael from RetroBlasting, and I've opted to bring him in last because he's saving some kind of a surprise for me. That's why his camera is off. Michael, can you? Oh my God!
Happy Halloween!
Very good.
Hey, guess what? You're Tony. And I'm the tiger. Woo! Hey!
And you're great.
I am great. So good.
You know, when Sam Newsman was on 3POA a couple of weeks ago,
yep.
I was at work in the morning and I jumped in about half an hour into it, and I didn't know Sam Newsman was a guest. And as soon as I clicked on the link, it popped up and that puppet was there, I thought I was on drugs. You've just taken that to the next level. I'm on every drug imaginable now.
Melinda figured this out. And Melinda was like, because I was like, I want to wear a costume. And then I was like, but I don't want to wear like Indiana Jones because I don't see that as a costume. And also I can't lean back in my chair. And then I was like, but I don't want to wear anything that's going to make me hot. Because I'm going to be sitting down in the studio. And Melinda figured this whole thing out. And I was like, cool. So here I am.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I can't stop staring at his mouth. It's like,
I know. It's
hypnotic.
Like, who's working the mouth?
I just want to come here to get your little coochie go.
Oh, the ears.
The ears go with it too. Holy crap.
It's going to be a great night, everyone. Hey!
It is. Speaking of Indiana Jones, I had a feeling, Mike, you were going to actually come dressed as Tom Baker's Doctor Who, but obviously you can't lean back in the chair with that.
I have decided to show up as one of Lara Croft's many victims. Many of my people has she killed, and yet she is still amazing.
A little disclaimer: if I have to run all of a sudden back and forth, it's because kids are showing up at the door for candy.
That's absolutely fine, Jeff. This is a casual hangout with friends
and show him Michael. He can be like, "Hey,
here you go." Those ears kill me.
And given that Melinda is such the cat lover. I wonder how she feels about you right now, Michael.
She was very happy with my choice. There was also a Chewbacca and a Yoda, but his eyes never closed, and that was very strange. And then there was a Stormtrooper, but they had no movement in their face.
Yeah.
And also that didn't feel very generally Halloween-y. So I was like, hey, it's a big kitty.
I like that. How much rehearsal for the mouth did you do?
Oh, you got to practice. I mean, you don't know what the limitations of the, face are.
Would you do the mouth thing and say waka waka waka?
Waka waka waka.
Comedy gold.
It really is.
I don't know how I'm going to host this show. Michael, take over, please.
I'm just here to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, Tony, just grab a tiger by the tail.
Oh, God.
Well, let's start with some super chats. First of all, we have Mvargo97. Thank you very much. Says, happy Halloween. Heard Hasbro is giving out Engines and Vengeance backer links to trick-or-treaters.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Yeah. They have about 4,500 spare.
Hasbro's sucking on that tailpipe now.
Kieran Ball, not a super chat, but I did want to share this comment. He says Tony's mask isn't very good compared to Michael's.
Well, the difference is I can't show my face anywhere on the internet anymore, so I gotta hide.
Well, my face is in memes all over the internet at the moment, but hey ho,
true.
Living rent free in other people's heads. It's fantastic.
Yep.
Chizilla, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, I think Michael's costume is great. Happy Halloween, guys. So, did you guys have Frosty's cereal in the States then?
God, yeah.
Yeah, Frosted Flakes.
Lived off of it.
Awesome.
Tony the Tiger.
Frosted cereal, and then you would add more sugar so that when you scooped it up from the bottom, you got like half a spoonful of sugar.
Yep, did it. Can't imagine why I'm not diabetic.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
That
sludge was good.
Get rid of it. If I didn't get half a scoop of sugar of everyone, I'd be done.
It was the greatest.
Yeah, it was great.
We have another guest, gentlemen. This is a surprise. I thought this man would be a little bit too. He's always too busy for me, but it's Mr. Bobby Valor.
What's up, gang?
What's going on?
How are you, Bobby?
I'm sorry I screwed up the nice dynamic. It was 2x2, and now it's like look at this. I made it all fucked up.
Symmetrical.
For shit's sake.
It's all good.
Who invited this dickhead?
Have you guys been getting many trick-or-treaters at your house, Scuba?
Yeah, so we live in a private neighborhood, and so it's like really intense for like a couple hours, and then it's like you're only getting those people that are there. So it's not like you're getting like the kids from the next neighborhood or 2 streets over. It's like it's just condensed here. So by like 8:15, it's done, which is nice.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Scuba?
Just our 2 little neighbor kids from across the street, and that's it. We live up off the main street in our development, so everybody stays down on the main drag. They're too lazy to go up. They just keep running the main. And I saw like one car come up, and kind of like look around. And then they just like sped off, like, screw it, kids. There's nothing good up here,
The case in the joint.
Yeah.
How about you, Jeff?
We live kind of out in the country, but in a little subdivision, so we get a few. But the neighbors around us are having big parties out in their driveways with fire pits and all that kind of stuff, and so it's kind of festive. But it does die down in the next hour. So we've only had a few trick or treaters, but we might have a few more. Like I said, our dog will start barking, and I'll have to go run here for a second if we get one.
Yeah. And Michael, I have a slightly different question for you. How many trick-or-treaters have you eaten?
What is this, an interrogation? Do you have a warrant? I'm not talking without a lawyer.
There's something about your voice with that.
It works.
You actually seem like the friendliest tiger I've ever met.
Well, you know what? That's exactly what I think is going to be helpful with this. Is people look at my face and they hate me, but then they're like, "Oh, if he just had a different face, I'd probably be okay with him." So I'm going to try this for a while.
Just shake the ears and you'll be fine.
I'm going to catch up with.
It is so real. It's ridiculous.
When Michael first turned his camera on, it took me a moment to figure out whether he was actually wearing a mask or whether it's a filter. Jim Margo, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, I suddenly have an urge for a bowl of Frosted Flakes. Awesome stream.
I should have worn a red neckerchief. Dang.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Tony Robles, thank you. He says, what the hell was in that coffee? Glad to see you all this season. And Troy Pacelli, thank you for the super chat. Says, Tony, the hat is a great look for you. You should consider it everyday wear. I wear this to Oktoberfest. That's about it. Michael, what? Did you not have a shave since Friday?
No, I didn't. That's why I didn't dress up as Han Solo. because I didn't have my face clean shaven. And, you dropped this, obviously at short notice. And I was like, I don't want to go shave. So I went the other way. A lot of facial hair.
You're showing your real stripes now.
That's right.
You real stripes.
We have a super chat here from a Melinda M. Anyone know Melinda? Happy Halloween, Melinda. She says, and thank you for the super chat. She says, I think if Michael used this all the time, people would think he was nicer. He is the friendliest tiger I've ever met.
He's so adorable.
I'm thinking swag for the channel for RetroBlasting, and that's your new mascot.
Yeah. With meat.
Yeah.
raw like a lamb.
You should be eating jerky the whole time you're doing that.
RetroBlasting. We're the nicest channel on YouTube. Coffee, tea, lozenge, rack of lamb.
Gazelle.
Oh dear. Embargo 97, thank you. He says, Bobby, when are we getting Halloween themed Action Force figures?
This is Star Wars Black Series. I don't know, man. That's like some real niche shit. It's like, I don't know, man.
Look,
I don't know.
Technically, Bone Collector looks pretty good for Halloween already.
I guess, but that's not really an avenue I wanna go down. To me, it's like that's a good way of getting stuck with a shit ton of product and having to put it on clearance.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
At my Target, the way it's set up, there's like the back of the toy section where like the puzzles and stuff are, and on the end caps back there are usually where they put the clearance items. And I noticed that they had that clone trooper, that skeleton Halloween clone trooper back there. And I'm like, it wasn't on clearance, but it's just about to be, and it ain't even Halloween yet. So I'm like,
see it from there.
Yeah, it's not featured.
I'm like, ooh, I was like, this is bad. What a terrible idea.
It's right back there with
Terrible
the
idea.
stuff.
Yeah, right. But hey, you know what? On Wednesday, we're doing a live stream. We're talking about repaints. Maybe we could talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll be there to watch. That's a great show. Shameless plug. Shameless.
It is a great.
Jeremy Jernigan says, hey, Bobby, Michael, Jeff, and Pete, you four are awesome.
What a dickhead.
Jeremy.
I literally just posted you a signed Desert Rat figure. You're a knob, Jeremy.
Oh,
Jernigan.
yeah. Hey, Jeremy, I got a bone to pick with you. I like how, you asked Tony for a signed Desert Rat. I don't think you've ever requested anything signed from me. Okay, I'll remember that. Thanks, Dick.
Oh,
I dressed up as Animal Warriors of the Kingdom for him tonight. So
awkward.
Shameless plug.
Oh, there we go.
And KBA, thank you for the super chat. He says, is Michael finally joining Tiger Force?
Oh, no.
It even does out of the side of the mouth.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
know.
I mean, it's
When he went,
Tiger Force. There's actually a real Tiger Force in history, not the demonstration people that paint the camo on the ships or the vehicles.
Yeah,
which is also real. There's another Tiger Force that was real in the late '60s in Vietnam, and they actually had to be decommissioned because of all their war crimes.
Yeah.
And so when I see the G.I. Joe Tiger Force enthusiasts, I'm like, do you know about that? Because if you don't, that you're kind of, I don't know, that's kind of dim. I don't know. Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Melinda says that she would like something signed by Bobby.
You got it, Melinda. I'll have it out tomorrow.
And Wicked Person, thank you. He said, Michael's dressed as the Big Jim Tiger and Tony's dressed as my Desert Rat figure. Well, I'm not dressed as Desert Rat. I'm wearing I couldn't really find a Halloween themed shirt. And I was like, you know what? When I was a kid, Ming the Merciless scared the crap out of me. So that's the closest I could get.
That's a great shirt.
there you go.
Flash.
I do have, speaking of Flash,
It's not getting old
I
at
do have
all.
a T-shirt with the DC Flash on it, and I thought that could be quite scary because there's nothing around as scary at the moment as Ezra Miller. So, but I didn't think people would get the joke.
Dun, dun.
Gordon's alive.
So, Bobby, did anything fun happen to you this week?
Anything? Is this like this week? It's Monday. Like, are you talking like this week, like today, or like last week?
Like maybe on Saturday.
Yeah, my wife texted me and said you have a package, and I said, is it a small package or a big package? She said it's a pretty big package. I said, oh, it's funny because Tony said he sent me something, but it's really small. And I got home and the box was about the size of both of my kids put together. However, it was one of the coolest boxes of swag that I've gotten in a very long time. Tony graciously sent me all of the Toy Biz Batman / DC stuff that he used to film his awesome video he did a few weeks ago. Yeah. Damn. Yeah.
Wow.
So he and I, we jumped on a call together. Because that stuff really, I didn't get like emotional, like I wasn't crying like a baby, but it was like one of those things where because that line was so important to my childhood, it was like I was going through this stuff like it was 89 again. And it was like, it was wild. Because I haven't put that Batcave together since then. And it was very cool to like do that. And it was nice to like talk to Tony as I was doing it.
Wow.
So thank you, Tony.
You're welcome. Yeah, it was a fun evening. I got finished doing that video. I don't have any room for more toys. I'm like, you know what? I don't even really appreciate them that much. I was 13 when the movie came out, so I was kind of out of toys. I just wanted to make the video, and then as soon as I was done, I put the whole lot in a massive box. Most of it had come from America, and then I just sent it back. Return to sender.
Just made the rounds.
That had to have been a really big parcel. Like
it was fairly large. So he ended up asking me how much Galactus weighed. Because he said his box weighed, I think, what did you say it was? 22 kilograms.
Pounds.
You said 21 pounds?
It was 9 point something kilos. It was 21
All right,
pounds.
so 21 pounds. And then I was like, no, Galactus is way heavier. And Galactus came in at 18 pounds. So, yeah, it was quite heavy.
I can't get over the head.
Yeah.
It's killing me.
Well, I'm just impressed that shipped, that Tony put all that in one big box and shipped it. I know he's a great guy and everything. I'm just like, wow, like that's
big.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the kind of thing, Bobby, that you get like an old man outfit, like, and then you push it in a wooden crate into another room of big wooden crates. And leave it there.
Top men working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, normally it's like I have so many toys at the office that they've been relegated to just like these giant PVC racks that I have out in the warehouse section. And it's just stuff that like I haven't opened. I have just tons of toys. Like I'll buy something, then I just won't open it. But I said to Tony, I'm like, I feel like I have to keep this stuff out. Definitely the Batcave. But putting the handle on the Batwing and then putting the suction cups in, I was like, man, this is awesome. So I think all of it's gonna have to stay out.
I'm glad I found a good home. So,
Michael, I was thinking of you about a week and a half ago. I was at a show.
Was it about tigers?
It was. Picked up this guy.
Oh, wow. Yeah. The FW190.
The Focke-Wulf. Yep. Got a little restore to do on it, but that's going in the collection.
Yeah, I still haven't figured out how I'm going to recreate that tail elevator for mine.
Yeah, my tail part's broken off the rudder. I need to find a rudder. It's gonna be
the whole fin missing.
Yep. Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Hard to find.
Yep.
Is that 21st Century Toys?
Yeah. It's Yep. There was a booth next to ours that had a whole bunch of these, and for like 20, you can pick one up for $20 a piece.
Yeah, it was run by an old man, and Jeff walked up and went. It threw $20 at him and stole it.
It was an estate sale company, and they had no idea what they had, and they were all like,
"You got that for $20?"
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Ooh.
got some work.
I was like, you freaking stole it.
No. Pirate, like a pirate,
right?
The cat's
I'm like, how can you sleep at night?
Oh, things are falling off of it. Oh well.
That's no good.
$20.
Yeah.
Didn't you pick up? How many other planes did you grab?
Well, I already had a whole bunch, but they had like 3 other ones, but I already had them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which ones?
I kind of kicked myself for not grabbing those
Yeah,
two.
which ones for?
Which ones?
The Messerschmitt ME-109 and a P-51.
Was it an Adolf Galland ME-109 or was it the standard 12 body?
It was a standard one.
Are you sure?
I think so. It was like this one.
That's an ME-109G.
So
because of the big nose cone.
Same paint scheme as that.
All right, so it is an ME-109G, not an ME-109E or Adolf Galland ME-109E.
And I knew it wasn't Galland, but I wasn't sure which one it was.
I am a World War II aviation enthusiast. You could say that I am a flying tiger.
Oh, yeah. Yes. But you'd have to be flying a P-40 for that versus the ME-109.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about my level of knowledge.
Oh, yes.
I'm glad I've been drinking because I think the tiger head is so much cooler.
I'm like, cheers.
I'm thinking about going to get a scotch right now just because of this.
Grab me a beer while you're there, Jeff.
Yeah. Get some more monkey shoulder for you, Tony.
And Michael, the next time you're doing the audiobook installment for a book that you're reading for Patreon, now I'm going to just, as I listen, I'm going to see your tiger face talking to me.
Oh, that's too bad. It'll ruin my project, but that's okay. You try and honor Halloween, and then you ruin projects you're already working on from before. Oh, well, that's what I should have done is figured out a way to put one of those RAF caps on to see if the filter would have fit. No, it would have just been behind it. Weird. It would have looked like I was wearing a purple or like blue toilet seat on my head. Whatever.
Here, Bobby, pass your glass. I'll top you up.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna take a few minutes and go pour a scotch. We'll be right back.
Go for it, Jeff. We got a super chat here from Keith Knight. Thank you very much, mate. He says, I had a trick-or-treater earlier, dressed like my window cleaner. I don't think he gets Halloween because all he kept saying was, you owe me for 3 weeks. And no, I don't want any effing candy. And Matt Movie 611, thank you. He says, I'm just saying every RetroBlasting feature should feature Michael with the tiger head at some point from now on.
Well, the next time we do some big Indiana Jones Last Hurrah style video, I'll consider it since we use StreamYard. How about that? Then people will say, God, took him 11 years to get to 100,000. And then what does he do? He turns into this tiger gimmick thing. And now the channel's going into the toilet. And I'll just be like, I'll just write it down. I'll just be like,
oh dear. And Skyfall, thank you. He says, hi guys, can Michael try to sniff the camera like a cat does?
Holy crap.
Do you know how many photos I've got on my phone that look just like that?
oh god.
Wow. So
that's a lion.
Yeah.
That's a lion, you Philistine. A lion. Man. That's it's so racist. Like
all right, to make up
Scuba. We don't
to make up for it. I gotta wait for you to make up for it, Michael. Can you just give a fucking Carol Baskin?
If I did that, I'll tell you this much. That guy who's in prison, he's a douchebag. Like he's a douchebag. He deserves to be in prison. He kept my people like in roadshow attractions in Florida, which is like the worst place on earth. So like, yeah. By the way, Bobby, I still love you.
Liar Convoy, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, that's the wrong cat to cosplay me, Michael.
You do your thing, Lio, and I'll do mine. I can't steal your idea. You know, I can't suddenly, oh my God, he's doing Lio Convoy's bit. I got to do Tiger Convoy or Tiger Caravan or something. I don't know.
Tiger King.
Super Godo Satsu. Oh, I don't know how to say that. Stuck at work, but happy Halloween, guys. By the way, do you guys think you'll ever cover the video game cartoons of the 80s and 90s? Video game cartoons of the 80s and 90s. I don't know what video game cartoons. Anyone?
Video game cartoons of the 80s and 90s. Well, in the 80s, the only ones we had were like Pole Position, which was really thinly based on the video. I actually liked the show better than the video game. And then in the 90s, the cartoons that were based on video games, I guess in the late 80s, you had Super Mario Brothers and Zelda. And then they were like shorts, though. There was like
Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, that's true. We had Pac-Man.
Pac-Man had a cartoon?
Yeah, 2 seasons.
Yep.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Very popular. He wore a Kojak hat and everything.
Yep.
Was bitching.
Here, Kalel48 says, like, Captain and the Game Master, Super Mario Brothers, The Legend of Zelda, etc. I think maybe that question is more directed at RetroBlasting because I don't cover cartoons. The thing
about Captain N is that you can't even get it on home video very easily now because it's out of print and it's worth a fortune. And it's like one of those shows that's worth a fortune but not good enough to be worth a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean? Bobby's betrayed me. He's betrayed me. He's betrayed me and all my people. Oh, this is a dark Halloween. Dark Halloween.
It is. We got a super chat here for Bobby, but don't worry, Bobby. I'm not going to give you the money. I'm going to keep it. Thank you very much for the super chat.
Okay.
JG Peak 26 says, question for Bobby. I'm loving the Modern Action Force line, but have you ever considered doing a line set during World War II or another time period as well? Now, I'm going to pull Bobby down because I already know the answer to this question. No, so go ahead. You've answered this so many times, Bobby.
I have, but maybe he doesn't listen to the 3 POA podcast on every other Saturday at 8:00 at night. But I'll answer it again just because it's Halloween and I'm feeling giving.
8:00 Eastern.
I definitely have thought about that because, like Michael, World War II is probably my favorite era of military, and I thought it could be cool if the Action Force now, in the setting of 2028, what if there was that wasn't the first Action Force, ops team? What if there were years and years of Action Force Special Forces groups prior, and maybe Condor finds some classified files where maybe his grandfather or something like that was part of this Action Force ops unit in the UK at that time. I've been kind of swirling that around, but I think it's definitely a long way off. It's not something that's I'm considering right now. It's
still a cool thread to explore, though.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be cool, but we've got a lot to take care of.
Or time travel.
Action Force.
No
time travel.
I just watched Final Countdown.
I think if Kirk Brazigian said you go to space, you die.
Yep. You just have to slingshot around the sun.
I think the same thing falls into the time travel category.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, let's double down on that, Jeff. I think the Action Force line needs time traveling zombie ninjas that go into space.
Yeah.
Go for broke.
Everything.
I'm with Bobby on this one. The only good time travel movie was a comedy. And I mean, that says something, right? I mean, not okay. I don't want to take away from Nicholas Meyer's Time After Time or whatever it was, because that was like a nice little movie that was like a sort of based on H.G. Wells stuff or whatever. And that's fine. But it's not like when you talk about a high profile blockbuster successful movie that's based on time travel, where the time travel's good and you don't like want to like throw yourself on the theater floor with all the stickiness just to get away from it, then it's Back to the Future. And that's it. Like,
or Time Rider.
Oh God.
The story of Lyle Swan.
Bill and Ted.
See, Bill and Ted's a comedy. Bill and Ted's a comedy.
It is.
Right?
It is. Yeah.
It's good. I didn't want to throw myself on the floor.
Yeah. Time Rider. Get.
I love that movie. So bad.
Troll Painting Minis, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, Captain N's not really available in print anymore because of all that licensed music in its episodes. We'll have to edit the entire series. I'm not even familiar with Captain N, but since me and Michael have been doing war stories for a long time, did anyone used to watch Nam Tour of Duty, the TV show in the late 80s? Mm-hmm. It was a pretty good show, you know. It was obviously heavily inspired by the success of movies like Platoon, and it was a weekly kind of drama show around this platoon in Vietnam. But it had an awesome soundtrack, both seasons 1 and season 2. I think the only way to get that show today is with all of the music removed. Like I think the opening of it was the Rolling Stones' "Paint It Black," and they've removed it from like the DVD release. It's sad, very sad.
That sucks.
Daniel Dorian, thank you. It's a slightly off topic, but do any of you guys think it's odd that the Kenner Robin Hood figures don't have knee joints, considering they were redesigned superpower molds?
Bobby, you're in our wheelhouse now.
Yeah, our wheelhouse. I mean, costing, man. You got to remember, those figures had soft goods. I know you're going to say, well, Kenner Superpower had soft goods. The Robin Hood soft goods was way more intricate. It wasn't just a cape, one piece of fabric. Robin's, tunic was multiple layers of faux velvet material with gold foil underneath these layers that shone through the holes on his tunic. Azim, multiple layers of fabric. So, yeah, costing was definitely a big aspect. But also you have to remember, Kenner put those out. What came before those? Kenner Dark Knight also did not have joints in the knees. So, just some thoughts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm in our wheelhouse also in the sense that Bobby and I are ardent defenders of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Yes.
Yeah.
To my dying breath.
I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just picked up a carded Little John a few weeks ago for $3.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah.
It's still a very cheap line or inexpensive line. I mean, Sherwood Forest will cost you a little bit, but it's a line you can complete and not break the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And it's also one that looks good, both carded and uncarded. Like the carded figures actually display really well. Yeah. And I have, it's the only other collection it's the only other sub collection in my collection that I have both a complete run mitten box.
That's the door.
Then I have a complete run mitten box, and then I also have one loose.
I'll just shut that dog up for a moment.
Yeah.
Troy Pacelli, thank you. He says,
I don't know why that happened. That's weird. Oh, well.
I heard you cough. I thought you had a hairball. And
yeah, I don't know.
Looking at some guy's face.
Oh, that's why.
You just realized that.
There you go.
Troy Pacelli, thank you very much for the super chat. It says hard sci-fi time travel primer. Not familiar with it myself. Jim Largo, thank you. He said, will Desert Rats Humvee be racing for pink slips with Bobby's upcoming Vroom Vroom? Happy Halloween, everyone.
Won't stand a chance. So. I'm going to be like Grease Lightning.
Won't
stand the chance.
You're talking about your licensed Humvee tank, not Humvee, but Rezvani thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Which I finally figured out a name for it. I've been struggling to come up with a really cool name for it, and I think I finally have it. So,
are we going to get an exclusive reveal here
on
the stream?
No.
Tiger Claw.
Rhymes with.
No. I mean,
you're such a tease.
Okay, maybe I could say what it is.
No, don't give them.
No, you don't have to.
Don't give them what they want.
I have to look back. I have to look back at my contract with Rezvani, because I don't believe it says anything about having to approve the name. Just the design elements.
Just the likeness.
Yeah, just the design elements. So, yeah.
I would leave them wanting more. But what do I know? I'm just a tiger.
Your Honor, I'm just a simple tiger.
Your Honor, I'm not really a tiger. I'm just trying to turn this filter off. I don't know how to do it.
Hey, I'm sure you'll share it on that hit show 3POA. On what time is that, Bobby?
8:30, 8 o'clock. Oh, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Every other Saturday. I believe we're on this coming Saturday, right, Tony? Yeah, this Saturday. Oh. It's our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
We have a special guest.
We have a very special guest. That's right.
For the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Plus pizza
should we
for
announce
everybody.
It here, or I kind of feel like I might be stealing Ryan's thunder.
Yeah, let's not steal. I mean, you could get in trouble with Ryan. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I find it funny that.
Sorry, go ahead, Bobby.
No, I find it funny that 2/3 of the show are here, and we're worried about upsetting Ryan.
Well, no, actually, it's going to help promote the show, and hopefully some of the people watching now will tune in because of this announcement. So you're the one who made it happen, Bobby. Let everyone know who our special guest is for next week's 3POA.
So the special guest for our year anniversary on 3POA is Mr. Dave Honor. For those of you who don't know Dave Honor is a legend in the toy industry. He worked for Toy Biz back in the day, and he worked at Hasbro for a very long time. He was my boss when I was an intern, and now he's just doing a ton of things. This guy's handling a lot of pies, but he's a great guest, and he makes every show entertaining. So
cool.
Make sure to tune in because, listen, I know you guys come for me and Ryan, but Dave is going to take over the show, and it's going to be worth every minute of it.
And Dave, he's been on a RetroBlasting stream before, hasn't he, Michael?
That's right.
That's right. He has. Yep. He was nice guy.
Gave you chin scritches and everything.
Yeah.
Behind the ears, scratch behind the ears.
We don't. Hey, this is a public.
Gotta pay extra for that.
KBA, thank you for the super chat. He says Victorian Action Force or Night Tiger and the Eco Ninja riding his chrome-plated dinosaur into space. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Tony, can we give him back his money?
No, absolutely not.
The Victorian Action Force is cool because it's like the old DC comics, the Elseworld stuff where Batman was back in time, or like he was hunting Jack the Ripper, things like that.
Like Gotham by Gaslight.
That's Gotham by Gaslight. One of my favorite comics. That stuff's awesome.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd rather go really like full on neon Eco Force colors for Action Force. I think that'd be fun.
Follow the trend. Yeah.
Super Godo Satsu, thank you for the super chat. It says, okay, last question, and it's for Bobby. Why is it companies like Hasbro and Mattel don't include toe bends? Is it too much to do cost-wise?
So actually, Mattel and Hasbro do do toe bends. You see it on, on some of the new Legends. I know a bunch of new Spider-Man figures have it. On Mattel, the Ultimates, WWE Ultimates has it. So they have it. I'm not a huge fan of it, so which is why it's not on Action Force figures. If you get, the problem is the toe bend is one of those points of articulation that is a novelty. It's like, okay, you could put him in a kneeling down pose shooting, but it's like, Tony, how, like, you're bending your toe a little bit, but it's not to the point where the break is on an action figure. So to me, it's almost like an unnecessary joint. I would rather take that money and put it somewhere else in the figure rather than foot articulation. Articulation should be in the core area and in the arms. That's where, like, the majority of photography is taken. It's like the toe, it's, to me, in my opinion, it's kind of a waste. I'm not going to say it's never going to be done. I'm just saying that I'd rather take that money and put it elsewhere. But Hasbro and Mattel are doing it.
Yeah, like I think there are certain characters that it lends itself to well, particularly like Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it in a military action figure. He's wearing beefy leather boots. It's just not required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun fact: I don't have toe bends, but I have toe beans because I'm a cat.
Toe beans.
Oh wow!
Drink to that.
Articulated Chad, thank you very much. It says happy Halloween. Or
Chad.
I'm moving. Lame. Yeah. Moving's painful, man. I did it earlier this year. Not a nice experience.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a setup to pack up. Oof.
I was thinking that when I was looking at my Joe room the other day. I was like, ooh, this is going to suck to pack up. I was like,
Yeah. It is. And even, even with all of your Action Force millions, it's one of those things that you wouldn't even pay a removalist to do it because they're gonna lose the bipods off Dusty's rifle and the microphones off heavy metal and it doesn't matter how many millions and millions of dollars you're making off Action Force, Bobby, you've still got to pack that shit yourself.
Oh yeah, it would take me 2 weeks to pack that room, and that's just that room.
It'd take you a week for just the steel brigades.
That's right. I forgot. Those are at the office.
Tony, that's my cousin.
Who, Jacobs and Burt?
Yeah. I don't even know. I didn't even expect him to be here, but that's my cousin.
That's cool.
Yeah. He's a army vet. He's an army vet.
Oh,
awesome.
Well,
I thought you were going to say he's a Bengal tiger.
Thank you very much for the kind super chat without comment, and thank you for your service and happy Halloween.
And great icon, the wave.
Yeah. I always remember when Ryan's cousin popped into the live chat and Ryan told us this story about how he stole his G.I. Joes when he was a kid.
Oh, well, in this case, Jake was a lot younger than me. And so, like, it was cool because I was, like, in high school and I saw him get to come up through, the action figure phase of his life, in sort of like the 90s. And that was right around the time, of course, that the Star Wars figures came back out. And so it was weird. It was like this weird mirror effect where I was hanging out with him in the summer and he was playing with his old Star Wars action figures, the old characters, new figures. It's crazy.
Yeah. Is that when you were working in Toys R Us?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he had the hookup.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were the guy that all of us wanted to know.
That's true. I'm still the guy that, well, that's not true. Now everybody doesn't want to know me. Yep. Way times have changed. Ron Burgundy had never heard that song.
I've always wanted to be friends with the tiger.
Right?
The ghost.
Wicked person, thank you very much. He says, I wore a store-bought $6 Million Man costume for Halloween as a child, years old.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
What he didn't tell you was it was on clearance and it had 3 inches of dust on top of it, and he got it in 1988.
I was a member of the $6 Million Man fan club.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
Feel pretty.
Did you get like a special badge?
Pretty special about that.
And then 4 years later, during puberty, he was part of the Bionic Woman fan club, which wasn't official. There was only one member. Well, 2 members, if you think about it. And you know the rest of the story.
That and Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Made me feel funny like I climbed the rope at gym class.
Well,
Make me feel fun.
you had it timed. You had it timed to that theme song. Dung 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 dung. Dun 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 dun.
World War II Wonder Woman or 70s Wonder Woman?
Yeah, 70s Linda Carter.
Nothing better.
Nope.
So, did you guys have a favorite Halloween costume when you were a kid? What about you, Scuba?
Mad scientist. So,
Mad
like,
scientist.
So my dad, he's chemistry guy too, and so he let me have one of his older lab coats, and we like gunked it all up, and I got to like get his goggles, and he didn't let me carry like a glass beaker or anything dumb like that, but like anything plastic and tubey and all that, I got to have as my mad scientist,
Yeah, nice. Bobby, you were Batman, weren't you?
I was 89 Batman for multiple years.
Classic.
You're still living in 1989.
Totally.
What about you, Michael?
I did Luke Skywalker 2 years. I was a ninja 3 years. Let me think. My favorite Halloween costume. I think I really started enjoying Halloween when I started. I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid, but I mean, as far as the costume goes, I really started enjoying it more when I had more of my own income and control over what I was buying and making it look more realistic and stuff. And so that journey really started with Indiana Jones and continued with Han Solo and stuff. So, but as a kid, I was Luke Skywalker twice and a ninja 3 times. So, and I was Link from Zelda 1 year.
Oh.
And I was really mad at the Megatron costume I bought because it was like one of those plastic aprons and it didn't actually look like Megatron. It had a picture of Megatron on it when I got it home.
Those sucked.
Yeah, and I wanted to just put my head in the oven at that point, but I had to wear it anyway.
What about you, Jeff? Did you have a favorite Halloween costume?
Well, pretty much white sheet with holes cut in it for a ghost. And that was pretty much my go-to when I was a kid. But later on, I actually found a smock from Circle K, the convenience store, and I put fake blood all over it and tore holes in it and burnt parts of it like I'd been shot, like I was a robbery victim from a convenience store.
Jeez. It's brutal fun.
Yeah, so that was my favorite. And then I really got into the face makeup with the bullet holes in the forehead and on the cheeks and stuff, and I was a victim, basically.
Oh, Lord.
So I didn't grow up with Halloween. In the 80s in the UK, it was all about bonfire night, or what we call Guy Fawkes night. Remember the 5th of November. But and you didn't used to dress up for that. You used to. It's quite twisted when I actually think back about it now. What you would do, you would make a Guy Fawkes dummy, and what you do, you get an old pair of your dad's trousers and an old shirt, and you would tie string around the bottom of the legs and the sleeves, and then you would stuff it full of newspaper to fill it out, and then you'd make a paper mache head, and you'd put him in a little cart, and you'd wheel him down to the local corner shop, and all the people coming in, you'd ask them, penny for the guy, and all the money you got, which would be based on how good your Guy Fawkes looked, you could then use to buy fireworks. And then actually on fireworks night, you would take this, cobbled together mannequin representation of Guy Fawkes and throw him onto the bonfire and burn him alive.
Burn him in effigy.
Yeah. I think back to that now. It's like, it's probably why they've done away with that.
They've done away with bonfire night?
Yeah.
Well, so it's now more like fireworks night. They don't do the whole Guy Fawkes thing anymore, and Halloween has become a much bigger thing in the UK.
I went to Bonfire Night when I lived there. God,
yeah, you were there early 90s, so yeah, it still would have been that somewhere around the late 90s, early 2000s. It transitioned away from Bonfire Night, and then they got big into Halloween instead. So
it's no longer a scene from The Crow.
No,
nothing lasts.
But although I didn't, do Halloween dress up, I do remember going to some kind of a fancy dress thing at a school carnival where you could go dressed as anyone. And I've been looking for the photographic evidence of this for years. I've looked at my mum's house, at my dad's house. I don't know, because I know there are photos that exist. But I went to this fancy dress as He-Man.
Ooh,
and I was literally
nice.
in a pair of brown shorts, and my mum had made me a brown crossbow and stitched on the logo. And then to make it look as though I had biceps and a six-pack, my mum drew it on with lipstick.
Cool.
I was a skinny little kid.
And that's when you realize that the uncle of your next door neighbors really was kind of into the kids.
Because he had the lipstick.
You've been having these.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Wow, we got some super chats backing up again. Jim Largo, thank you very much. He says, I only watched 3 POA for Tony, and I only read Playboy for the articles.
Is Playboy still around?
I wouldn't know, Jeff.
No, of course not.
I could ask my son.
Yeah.
Lester San Jose, thank you very much. He says, for all you guys, happy Halloween. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Happy Halloween to you, good sir. And Jim Largo again, he says, every time I give G.I. Joe Classified another chance, I'm disappointed all over again. Picked up Sergeant Stalker and his knee joints are loose and janky. His head is going on a Valaverse Delta Trooper.
Good man.
Yeah.
Bobby, I just want to compliment you on your Halloween costume tonight. It's very accurate. Does anyone else not notice?
Tired CEO?
No. He's doing a pitch perfect Jason Bourne on the run.
Ooh.
Or to get it perfect, he would only have the earbud in one ear.
Well, true, but I mean, he's kind of got, the sort of like, polar fleece kind of pullover thing on, and he looks like he's in an apartment in the Eastern Bloc of Europe somewhere.
Safe house.
I love the Jason Bourne trilogy. I think it's the best written trilogy ever.
I'll have to tell my wife that our adult living room looks like an apartment in the Eastern Bloc.
Well, you got to remember, because your camera's muting there's no contrast in the camera.
I know. Back here, it's kind of dim back here, and there's like high voltage ceilings, and there's like not like a lot of light back here.
Gone.
It went to Kylie's face again.
Oh, he's back.
You want to see a magic trick? Watch me make Kylie's face a tiger.
She's very good. That's hilarious.
Randall, thank you very much. He says, Tiger burning bright. Now I need to watch Batman the Animated Series and Shere Khan as Michael is called. Thank you very much. Scott Newton with a very generous super chat. Thank you very much. Happy Halloween, everyone. Happy Halloween to you, sir.
Scott.
And Drew G says, I know I'm late. What did I miss?
Drew G, I'm going to tell you, you missed the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves discussion, which for you're like the third Robin Hood Prince of Thieves guy. So whoops.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know that's tough. That's tough news for you to hear. So that's why I made sure you heard it from a tiger.
Cushion the blow.
Wow.
Hey, Drew, you missed it.
Oh, damn.
Michael,
Oh.
I got in something that you would appreciate.
Yeah.
So I've been going back and buying up things.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous, man.
Like the only time I've ever had seller's remorse was when I sold my comics back in 2013. And now I'm going back and rebuying every issue that I had. And it's costing me probably 3 times what I sold the collection for because it was worth way more. And I'm just like, this is
Bobby,
what I get for that. But
I might be able to help.
Yeah, Jeff's see all those long boxes behind Jeff?
And I just picked up these the other day.
What are those?
Oh.
Those are the magazine Star Wars comics. Magazine format. The artwork is so damn cool.
Interesting.
Bobby, Drew G was asking you, what issue is that?
This is Amazing Spider-Man number 40. So there was Amazing Spider-Man 39 and 40 was a really good story of how Spider-Man finds out that Norman Osborn is the Green Goblin.
Yep.
Very iconic covers, very iconic stories. I do have issue 39 coming this week, but this is issue 40. And I just got issue 122. I still need to get 121. And I got a lot of the first appearance of Carnage run. I got a lot of those Cardiac issues. So I'm going back and slowly getting all, because the majority of what I had was Batman. I had the most of, then Superman, then Spider-Man. But it was really only Amazing Spider-Man. Like I didn't fuck around with like Web of Spider-Man, maybe a little bit of Spectacular Spider-Man. I didn't really get into like the regular Spider-Man title, but Amazing Spider-Man had just great stories and great art.
I'm selling my Amazing Spider-Man 129, First Punisher.
Ooh, we'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk.
It's graded 8.5.
I don't buy graded comics.
I know I shouldn't have, but
even
so you can't get into them.
Yeah, like this is, I don't know what you would grade this at. You'd probably grade this at like a 3. I don't care because I want to read the story.
Yep.
I want to smell the pages. Like
that's what I'm back doing with my Joe comics.
Yep.
Yeah, condition for comics was never important to me.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I never was interested in having minty comics. Mm-hmm. Like I just wanted something that I could flip through. And I mean, I've even got my original comics that I had, the first comics I was ever given as a kid, and they were hand-me-downs from other kids. Oh, wow. And so they were just ratted out, and I still love them. And that's it's proof positive that even if you got extra staples in it and 500 wrinkles and stuff in the cover and a ripped corner, you put that in a fresh bag and board, suddenly it looks better.
It's amazing what that does. It really is amazing what that does.
Yeah, I just got sent a bunch of these from a supporter of the channel. I've got to complete this run. There was 50 issues, and then they went to there was 50 weekly issues, then they went to a monthly publication, and the comic panel was actually smaller. But some awesome covers on the UK Action
That's a great cover. I just picked that book up too, Tony. That thing's awesome.
Yeah. So Bob, you like to smell them, like you sit back in the Valaverse office and you just sniffing the crack.
It's literally the first thing I do. So I took this one out, and it was like, because it's old and the pages are tan, I was like, oh, it smells exactly how you want it to smell. That kind of deteriorated old newsprint, man. That's
what smells like your grandma's attic.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've always told my wife that if I could bottle the smell of used bookstore or used comic books, I'd make a mint.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It really gives TIE Fighter pilot a run for his money.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was always my Emperor who smelled the most.
My Stormtroopers.
Well, your Emperor smelled the most because he has that butt wiping hand.
What is he, a Bedouin? Is he a Bedouin?
Well, I think he must get sweaty in all those robes, but
yeah.
So since I didn't grow up with Halloween, and I came to Australia and I don't even think they really had Halloween in Australia when I first came here in the late 80s. It's kind of popped up around the mid 90s and see the same in the UK. So it wasn't a childhood thing for me. So I'm interested. Who's got like a really cool childhood memory of Halloween they'd like to share? Anyone? There's this one time went trick-or-treating and you answered the door and a tiger was there.
Nod on my head a little bit.
Let's see. Memorable Halloweens. One time, it was the year I was the second year I lived in England. They had a big Halloween party at the school where I went, and I didn't know what to pull together, so I literally pulled together a bunch of parts from all these different previous Halloween costumes, as well as some special theater costumes that Mom had put together for school, in the past, and I put together this kind of like ninja desert warrior kind of guy, and I showed up and I won the costume contest, and I literally was like, what? I'm nothing. I was the guy that was like, oh look, it's a guy or a girl who's an actual character that should win the costume contest, and they're like, hey, you're random shit, you win the award. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. Thank you.
Michael was customizing before it became popular.
Yeah, I was a kit bash, is what I was. A kit bash of nothing. Nothing. And I won the award.
Pieces.
Yeah, I was just bits and pieces. And I put it together, right? And then I won the award. It was amazing. I was sort of this desert sort of adventurer. And I looked shit, but I won the award. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
If I had grown up in the States, I really think I would have dressed as Rambo for most Halloweens, because anyone who was into Rambo in the 80s, particularly around Rambo 2 time, or First Blood Part 2, see, the Coleco toys came out, but there was also a lot of role-play toys, and you could get the plastic replica of his survival knife, and it would come with a red headband and the little necklace with the little jade Buddha on it. That
Yep.
I can't remember her name now. The female character gives him in that movie, and I would actually wear that around a lot. There's a picture of me on Christmas Day at my cousin's house. I've got like a T-shirt on that's got bullet bandoliers printed onto it, and I'm wearing a red headband and the jade necklace and Rambo's knife. And
opening present.
I thought it's Christmas. Let's go around to your Uncle and Auntie's house dressed as John J. Rambo. That makes sense.
The name you're searching for is Co, but in the cartoon it was a better name. It was Cat.
The expressions. Melinda says, one year in Alaska, I trick-or-treated in the snow with my favorite vampire costume and no winter coat. I'd go to 3 houses, then run home to warm up, then back out.
Awesome.
You really got to want it.
Yeah.
Right?
Raymond Hoey, thank you for the very kind super chat. He says, happy Halloween all. Tony, you might be interested to hear that for Halloween one year, I dressed up as 22nd Regiment SAS CRW Commando. However, the gear was less than convincing. A taped up Coke can is a poor flashbang. Does anyone here know what CRW stands for? I do. I'm just curious if you know. I might drop a little bit of knowledge. So when the SAS operate in slang terms we call the black kit, when they're in all the black gear with the gas mask and everything, a lot of people refer to that as like the counterterrorism part of the SAS, the wing of the SAS. It's not called counterterrorism. It came around in the 70s following the Munich massacre. But CRW is actually the Counter-Revolutionary Warfare Wing, and it's still called that today. It's not the counterterrorism unit. Counter-Revolutionary Warfare. So there you go.
That's cool.
You learn something every day.
Yeah, sometimes. I learned tonight that I could get creeped out by a tiger. The Canuck, thank you for the super chat. He says, I just got home from a 14-hour shift, going to catch a bit of this before I call it a night. Hello to Scuba Pete, Tony, Michael, Jeff, and the Valor Father Bobby. Valor Father? Hail all and hail chat. Glad to
Canuck.
make it.
He's sniffing around. You know, the eye.
Here you go, boy. Here you go. Here you go. Just a little lick.
Oh.
Go.
The eye angle, he makes him look very sympathetic and pettable.
Michael, are you still getting over your sickness? Because when that I can't tell if your voice sounds slightly different. Because it's
yeah. I'm not down with the sickness. I'm still getting over it. Open up your pain and let it something to me. I don't know the lyrics to that stupid song.
Talk to Melinda, she'll know.
Could you sing "Eye of the Tiger"?
Jason Anderson says, don't give the tiger booze. The last thing we need is a lick it up apex predator on the street.
I am the apex predator of YouTube toy collecting. That didn't sound half as impressive after I said it as when I thought it.
It's a slogan.
Drew D's like, you've been hanging with Lio Convoy. Once again, I am a tiger. I am not a lion. Everyone is racist.
The Thundercats. Yeah.
All right, fellas. I think I'm going to call it a night.
No problem, Bobby.
I've got a
Good to
lot of
see you,
design
Bobby.
work to do tomorrow.
Well,
Packing up
work,
orders
work,
for
work.
good luck.
people.
I know you've got some offices to infiltrate and information to find and, remember who you are and,
I got this
break in-
bag. I got
gotta
this
break
bag
into
of
that-
passports and money.
Yeah, you
I
got
just
to
don't
break
know
into
where
that
it came
bank
from.
in Switzerland, and
Yeah,
I mean, you just came off that fishing boat. I can tell.
I know.
Ugh.
My back keeps itching. Like I got band-aids on it or something.
Well, but I just want to say before you go, Bobby, I genuinely appreciate you you taking out that deposed exiled dictator. He was no good. But otherwise, I hope everything works out for you. And
But I didn't take him out. I missed him. And then Treadstone had to go and
even
take
though
him
I
out.
just said it was even though I just said it was the most well-written trilogy, I obviously just forgot the key part of the plot. So well, yep, I'm just a tiger. My brain's not as big as yours. I love you, Bobby. I hope you have a good night.
All right, fellas. You too. Love you
All
guys.
right, Bobby.
See ya.
See ya.
Night.
I guarantee you what you can't see on camera there is he's wearing sweatpants and flip-flops.
Yeah.
Jason Bourne never did that.
Yeah, that's true. I'd love to see him doing a Jason Bourne run in shorts and flip-flops.
And flops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flap, 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 flap. And then he uses the flip-flop to like kill the next guy that jumps out at him. He's like, pow, pow, pow.
But even in the crowded airport, you just hear. You're like, he's there.
Yeah, he's over there. Get him.
They are pretty good. I need to rewatch those.
Well, Tony, you asked about a memorable Halloween costume, and I have to say it was not as a child, but probably about 10 years ago, I dressed up with a bunch of other people as a Catholic schoolgirl and walked on Duval Street down in Key West, Florida.
How did that go over?
I got my ass grabbed a lot. There were some big hand, and I just kept going. I just, it was very crowded. I did not.
Were
look
you
back.
like? I mean, this is a serious question of a subject that could really go off the rails in a second,
Right.
but I'm going to risk it anyway. So when
You're a
they were
cat.
grabbing you, Scuba, was it because both your costume and your physique were very convincing to the point of illusion?
Leslie said I looked pretty good. So
Did you get
what year was this?
Did you gather any beads from it?
yes, I did get a few beads.
What year was this?
This was let's see, that would be like 2005, 06, somewhere around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this was post Hit Me Baby One More Time. So you were
yeah.
Okay, yeah, you really that was basically like you were just what am I trying to say? You went for maximum risk is what I'm saying, like maximum effort, maximum risk. Well done.
Yep.
It was catnip to you.
Yeah. Well, there's Leslie. He was a hunk of a girl. You weren't so bad yourself.
I used to be into the face makeup thing where I would have the spirit gum and the ear and nose wax and shape bullet holes in my head, and I just dressed normal, but then I was dead, and then I'd have a bullet hole in my head, and I'd have a trickle of blood coming out, and go to the bar, and then there was always somebody that wanted to say, "Can I put my finger in your hole?"
Jesus, Jeff. Preface that before you.
First of all, Jeff, I want to commend you on your commitment to the Halloween bit, the horror part of it, but at the same time, I am concerned that year after year, you just want to be a corpse.
Yeah, a victim corpse at that.
I grew out of it.
Like you didn't die peacefully.
That was in my 30s and 40s. I grew out of that.
I mean, he wants to be somebody who dies horribly with the worst possible flashbacks on the way out, like just
It's all pure sympathy. It's all it is.
I don't want to be like a notable death. I want to die like a human cockroach. That's what I want to be for Halloween.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it's true, I guess.
Maybe it is.
No, I'm not saying it's bad like as a one-off. I'm simply saying there's a trend here, and I just want to make sure you're okay.
I did it for like 8 years in a row, and so maybe I did finally.
We're just
8 years in a row.
Concerned friends checking in, Jeff.
I got lazy.
Jeff, you were a corpse 8 years in a row, and on top of that, you didn't buy the rest of those airplanes. What am I supposed to think?
So true. I still kick myself for the airplane part, not buying those.
All right. Well, at least there is some remorse and shame.
Yeah, I actually might try to get a hold
because I was like, you bought it for what? Did you get all of them? And he was like, no. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you?
I need to find them. I know who they are. I need to find them and just actually ask them.
If it wasn't for the fact that there was this whole Eternia thing that happened with you, and you were such a mensch about the whole thing, and you were like an epic part of the community, like I would be a little like, gosh, Jeff left all those planes behind. God, what?
Eternia from here to Pete and maybe to your place for a review.
Well,
it can happen one day.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful to see it. It'd be wonderful to see other people happy about it.
I'm Pete's supplier for major play sets between the Defiant and Eternia now.
My current.
That was funny though. He had no idea that it was even there. He just had happened to take some pictures of boxes, and I saw a Grayskull Tower sticking out, and I said, "That's Eternia." And he said, "What in the Sam hell is that?" And I'm like,
"I didn't know what it was."
You need to call that dude and see what kind of shape it's in.
Right.
It's like 95% complete, and the guy's like, "Yeah, I'll sell it to you." It's like I had no idea what it was. I didn't collect He-Man as a kid, so I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Wow. Oh, Melinda. Hey.
Yeah. Melinda says, my current favorite costume of mine is Freddy Krueger. It's not as good as the tiger, though. Melinda, now,
we're going to
from now on, whenever someone invites you to a live stream at the last minute and you use the excuse like, no, I can't, I haven't done my makeup, that doesn't wash anymore because you can just put the tiger on.
That's right.
That's true. And she did say something to that effect when she came downstairs to look at this. And she was like, oh my gosh, I can actually do things and not have to get so prepared before I'm on camera if I wouldn't want to. I was like, oh, sure.
Sure. The mouth.
Toki Deathhammer says, hey, Tony, off topic, but war stories. Generation Kill. I'd love to hear your opinions one day. I'd like to talk about Generation Kill one day, but that is a TV series as opposed to a movie, which is not out of the realm of what me and Michael do on war stories because we started the whole show by doing Band of Brothers. But
Yeah.
I really feel as though the next time we do a TV show as opposed to a movie, it would most likely be Colditz.
Oh, look at that happy tiger. Look at
I'm trying to read the tiger's facial expression.
He's excited.
It's the ears. The ears.
Colditz is a great show. That was a
Yes.
very, very Captain Obvious statement, but it is. It's a great show, and we should do. But I don't know how we would format that because it's a lot longer than Band of Brothers. So it would be, we'd have to figure out how to split it up to make it a maximum of 3 episodes. And then,
What about combat?
oh gosh, well, I've already thought about that a little bit. So there was a 2-part episode that's 2 hours essentially, because each episode's about an hour. And it was called something like This Hill is for Heroes or something like that. And it was directed by Vic Morrow. Ooh. And it's a really, really standout 2-parter of combat. And what I thought Tony and I could do is watch that. And that could kind of be like our tribute to the TV show Combat. And then if we ever wanted to revisit it, we could. But that's actually a movie within the show, which I thought was, yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keen for that. I've never seen Combat, so I don't know if it ever aired on British TV. So everything I know about Combat comes from the video you did of the Marauders figures a few years ago.
Mm-hmm. It's a really, really good show. It's fictionalized in the sense that they're doing pastiches of soldiers' lives in World War II against the enemy, and of course their interactions with villagers. And even though everything's scripted and everything like that, and they're coming up with like the problem of the week, it's really well done. So it's not like you're watching, trash television. It's back when TV actually had to put some thought into what they
Black
were
and white. What years where was that, Michael?
62 to 66, something like that.
I've started watching a little bit. It's on every day on TV. I don't have cable or anything, and I just stream stuff. And so it's on the over-the-air channels here every day, like two episodes every day.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's a good show.
It's a great show. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really great show. See, Melinda even knows the quote from it. I ain't going back up that hill, Lieutenant, as my good buddy Tony would say.
Yeah. Sir Teabaggins was. Tony, would you ever do the Evil Dead movies and how it's rise to fame and the toy lines that came from it?
Toy lines.
Evil Dead have toy lines?
They're all from like Funko or not Funko. Sorry, Reaction and Super 7 and NECA. So they're all just basically like icon figures. I mean, I think NECA did quite a few, but I don't know if you could really call that a line. I mean, more of an assortment.
That's not something I would do. I'm assuming you're kind of talking about how I did the Batman movie. Would I ever do the Evil Dead movie? No. No, unless there was a vintage toy line. No, probably not. So today is not only just Halloween, it is also the final day of a HasLab campaign for a certain Engine of Vengeance.
Oh.
We have 2 hours and 8 minutes left, and they still require 4,009 backers.
That ain't gonna happen. It's barely halfway. Tiger down.
Tiger sleeping.
Don't wake the tiger.
What?
Vengeance is mine.
Vengeance will be nobody's at this rate.
Did it keep going backwards in numbers?
Yeah,
it had been. I saw it go down as low as, I want to say 4,900, maybe a little bit lower. And in the last few hours, it's gone up, but it's only gone up like 90 backers.
It's a little over 4,000 that backer. Wow.
Yeah. This is even more disastrous than the Rancor campaign.
Yep.
I just don't think it's Nope. No.
He's an annoyed tiger. Watch out.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, shit.
Just don't start grooming yourself.
Anything I do with my arms goes behind the face. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
They got to fix that.
I know. I want paws. I want big furry paws. Big furry paws and big toe beans.
Toe beans.
Not toe bends. Toe beans.
Toe beans. Oh man. Yeah, just a little over 4,000 left to go on that thing. It'll get there.
Didn't they lower it from 12 to 9,000 or something in an attempt to try and?
Did they? Was it originally 12?
I don't know. I'm asking. I
don't know.
Yeah.
No. It was always originally 9,000, which is what it is now. But they announced the first tier of Mephisto at 12,000, I think it was, and then when they announced the second tier, which should have been at like 15,000, they said, "Oh, you're going to get Goblin Queen at 10." So they brought it in under the first tier. So you get the second tier before the first tier. It's weird.
And
but
still
there's no
nobody
saving that.
Nobody
campaign.
said.
Yeah, 12,000 backers for Mephisto.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mephistopheles is not going to happen.
It's getting the fisto.
It's a great character, but geez.
That's what a lot of people said. They're like, "That's an awesome character." No, I'm not paying that to get that character.
Yeah, that's a great character.
So I'm working on this video about the radio controlled Humvee toy that I have. You know, so many people have asked me over the years. So I've kind of filmed and I've like recorded all of my audio commentary and B-roll of all the close-ups. What I want to do now is actually take this thing out in the desert and drive it around and film it with a GoPro and get footage of it doing that. As I was editing the video, because I bought my one out of China and, you know, I bought it in Australian dollars. I couldn't figure out the exchange rate. I actually recorded some commentary in the video about, you know, I know this is an expensive toy and I've complained about the HasLab Ghost Rider and I'm sort of explaining why I justified this purchase to myself. When I was looking around on the internet to see what they're kind of selling for at the moment, in the States, you can get a radio-controlled Humvee that takes 5 action figures, so 1 in each seat, 1 in the turret. The chassis is like ABS plastic. The body's ABS plastic, but all the chassis is real steel. It's radio-controlled, and it's only $30 more than the HasLab Ghost Rider.
Really?
You can get them for $380 on eBay in the US.
Yeah, and drive it around your neighborhood.
The battery alone's worth like $50 because I had to buy the battery separately. Yeah.
I just don't understand this phenomenon where everybody knows it's a bad deal, like, and so they all back out, and then right at the last minute 20% of those people just can't help themselves and they're like, "Oh no, we might miss out forever, I gotta try." And it's like, we all agreed this was a bad idea, right? Collectively the village agreed, and now you guys are like throwing yourselves on the funeral pyre trying to I don't understand that mentality. It's like, we made a good decision, let's stick to it, let's not second guess ourselves, because that's how you get a low score on the SAT. Like, I don't know.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
Jason Anderson here says FOMO is a powerful drug. You know, I used to get FOMO really badly. You know, because I've been a collector pretty much my whole life, and certainly in my 20s, you know, I just couldn't say no to it. If I, you know, was at a toy show or whatever, and I saw something, you know, I would let myself go broke for the week and just, you know, live on just live on 2-minute noodles for a couple of weeks until my next pay. To buy
drinks and beans.
But I've really grown out of that. Like, I do not get any sense of foam. Oh no, tell a lie. Probably if there was a Valaverse Action Force figure I couldn't get, because that's the only modern thing that I'm, like quite the completist with. I would feel a little bit of FOMO about that. But as a general rule, I don't suffer from FOMO. I'm pretty sure you don't, Michael. I know you don't.
No, I don't. I thought I did one time, but I found out it was just persistent athlete's foot.
Little spray cleared it right up.
Yeah, I didn't realize that FOMO wasn't a foot condition, and then when I realized, they're talking about like a psychological toy addiction, and I'm talking about these bumps on the arch of my foot, which just won't go away. Anyway, the point is that they didn't match up, and also disposable rat. I just want to say, lions and tigers are not the same. Don't be racist.
Tiger toes, Melinda. Tiger toes.
So Mo, you don't call it athlete's paw? It's
athlete's paw.
Oh well. I mean, that's why I'm doing this whole tiger regimen, because from what I understand, they have different foot conditions, and I'm hoping that maybe with this transition to tigerdom, that I might not have the genetic predilections for those conditions that I had with my right foot's underarch.
In the simian industry area, it's also called monkey paw.
Simian industry?
Not industry. Environment. Sorry, that was a horrible joke that went horribly awry.
Oh no! I know about all those.
The monkeys
I
are
things. I know that in the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes movies, they make it look like an industry, and that's why they all revolted. So we might want to change our philosophy on that, because they're coming for us. They're coming.
They're going to rule us.
Yeah, they didn't even let James Franco stop them. And
I got to think about better before I talk. Tiger Balm.
I love Jason Anderson. He joined my Patreon recently, and every time I get that email notification, it's from Jason. I just have to stop what I'm doing and
read
just
it.
Go and laugh for a moment.
Jason Anderson is one of the, how do I put this? He is one of the irreplaceable, not that everybody's unique and everybody's a wonderful snowflake. I get that. But what I'm saying is that Jason Anderson, if he ever disappeared from the community, that would be a loss.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a noted loss.
He puts a perspective on everything that's just
his
right.
comedy, and like he wastes no time. Like, it's split second.
Yep. He is he's the only consistent comedic force in my life that keeps me from like walking into the ocean. Also, why I've done the tiger regimen, because cats don't like water, but then I found out that tigers really don't mind it.
Tigers
that backfired. But I'm hoping that maybe the rest of it will play out to my advantage.
Oh, God, Jason. Nice to know someone would notice me missing before my cat ate most of my corpse.
Jason's cat post. Jason's got a great cat. His cat posts are awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, did I hear Leslie?
It's the cats. It's Leslie. Yeah, it's the kid. It's mass hysteria.
Pete, you got a great cat. Crush is awesome.
Leslie's trying to coax him with treats. Michael can smell those treats.
We got 3 cats, and I do love them. You know, they're all supposed to be Gracies, but technically, it's become 2 of them are Gracies, and one of them's kind of mine.
Same here.
And I do love them, but cats are so dumb. You know, I always try and keep them out of the studio, and then every now and again, one of them will, when I'm not looking, will kind of, I'll crack the door open and it will sneak past. And all I do is go, right, fine. And I just shut the door and I lock them in here for as long as I feel like. And then I come back later and it's like, please let me out. And it's like, well, why did you come in the first place?
Yep. Mine does that all the time too. You're just like, what are you trying to do? Where are you going?
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, we've been going for 90 minutes now, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. This has been an absolute blast. I'm
been a fun hangout. And we're starting to attract the Russian sex bots. So well done.
Nice.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
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 You know you've made it when you get the Russian sex bots in the chat. So
That's right.
I mean, there they are, them Russian sex bots. They're amazing. I want to meet them. Maybe they'll take my application on the internet, and then we can have a date, right? That'd be nice.
Oh man.
oh,
I guess along for the
I need a
ride.
drink.
Good stuff.
Scuba, where can everybody find you?
You can find me over on Chasing 80s Toys with Mr. Barker and Mr. Miwa. We just dropped a King Randor unboxing that Chris did, and a Eternia video before that. So come on over.
Very cool video.
Thanks.
Yeah, Pete kicked it out of the park on
It's
that
it's still behind me, set up just because it was so massive. But now I kind of want a tiger's face on it, not a lion. I'm just just saying.
I really don't find Eternia that impressive. What is impressive is having a video open with you coming out of the hot tub with a scuba diving mask on.
Mr. President.
It took so many takes to get right too.
You know, after this show, the next time you do that, you've also got to be dressed as a Catholic schoolgirl.
On our next Chasing 80s. Anyway.
Yep.
Tony Robles, thank you very much for the super chat. It just says rock on. Thank you. Jeff, where can everyone find you?
Same for me with Scuba at Chasing 80s Toys channel. And I'm on Instagram with Broken Barker, just as my own personal one, just to throw shit up there every once in a while. And that's about it.
Nice. And Mr. Tiger, sir, where can everyone find you?
Wildlife Fund.
I wanted to do this sort of meta bit at the end, and KBA said he wanted to see Maki Mark as a tiger. So I did that, but I'm going to do this meta bit here then because I think that people know him on YouTube. So, you know, bro, whatever. So here's my meta bit. So here's where it goes. It's sort of weird. Okay. So there we are in Sri Lanka at a sweet shop at 3 a.m, breaking in to get some bloody M&Ms. And instead of a guard dog, they've got this bloody Bengal tiger. I am able to take out the tiger with a can of mace, but the shopkeeper and his son was a different story altogether. I had to beat them to death with their own shoes. Hey everybody, I'm on RetroBlasting. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's been fun tonight. Happy Halloween, everybody. Mask, Halloween tiger.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
All right, everybody. Happy Halloween.